heart. Amber. That's how she'd introduced herself. If he'd known her real name, he never would have met her here. He would have ignored her, just as he'd ignored the phone messages she'd left with the damn butler up in the big house. That was the tricky part about blackmail. You actually had to get the target's attention to lay out the terms. She had his attention now. Showtime, girl. Make this count. Your future rides on the next 5 minutes. You came, she murmured seductively. I wasn't sure you would. He chuckled, the sound far from friendly. You knew I was there, he said, watching you. She kept her voice smooth. Yes, I was hoping for somewhere a little more comfortable. Somewhere we can talk. He made a humming sound, considering. Talk? I don't think so. Crystal, he added, and her heart leapt to close her throat. You knew? She whispered. Of course I knew. I had you followed. Pretty thing like you, coming on to me. I have to be careful. There are all kinds of bad people out there, Crystal. You never know who might try something stupid, like blackmail. Are you going to blackmail me, Crystal? Fighting panic, she slowly lifted her arm to retrieve the lipstick tube of pepper spray she'd slipped into her tiny handbag, glad she'd come prepared. Mentally, she counted the steps to the door. 6 steps. She could do 6 steps. She'd get by him. She had to. Go for the spray slowly. No sudden moves, don't let him see your fear. He likes your fear. He came closer, and she could feel the heat of his body. You never should have come. There was a mocking lilt to his voice that chilled her to the bone. I have Something silky brushed against her jaw, a split second before it slid round her throat and tightened. Proof. I have proof. But the words wouldn't come. Can't breathe. She flailed instinctively, her nails clawing at her throat. She kicked backward, trying to hit his knees, his groin, anything she could reach, but he yanked her up until her feet no longer touched the ground. No, please, no. Her lungs were burning. She pawed at her purse, grabbing the pepper spray, fumbling as she pulled at the cap. Just get away. Have to get away. She wrenched the cap from the tube. I don't want to die. Please don't let me die. Bitch, he muttered. You come here threatening me, my family. Did you think that would work? Did you think any of this would work? She aimed the spray, but his hand clamped over her wrist, twisting, forcing the tube lower, forcing her finger to press. New pain shot through her eyes, burning, blinding her. She screamed, but her voice was trapped. She was trapped. She dropped the tube, her hands desperately rubbing her eyes. Make it stop. Please make it. He stepped back, breathing hard. Her hands swung limply at her sides. He dropped her to the floor. She was dead. He'd killed her. I did it. For a long time he'd wondered how it would feel to drain the life of another. Now he knew. He'd finally done it. The bitch. She thought she could come here, control me. She'd learned, the hard way. Nobody controls me. He wadded the silk scarf with which he'd choked her, shoved it in his pocket, leaned over to scoop her purse from the floor and hid it under his coat. He opened the door a fraction. Nobody was coming. Nobody was watching. Everyone was partying, having a great time. The music of the band would have covered any sounds they'd made. He slipped from the shed and disappeared behind the hedge. It was done. 1. Baltimore, Maryland. Tuesday, April 5th, 6 a.m. Paige Holden pulled her pickup into the last parking place in the lot, a scowl on her face. Of course it was the one farthest from her apartment. Of course it was raining. If you were back home, you'd be pulling into your own garage right now and you'd stay warm and dry. You never should have left Minneapolis. What were you thinking? It was the mocking voice. She hated the mocking voice. It seemed to slither into her mind when she was least